Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, my friends of Japanese prints. I'm your host. My name is Dieter, and I'm the owner of the Artelino company. And we sell Japanese prints in weekly online auctions. In today's video, I want to present a few prints from the current auction. The current auction has the number 1697. We began actually to count in 2001, and the focus of the current auction is on Sosaku Hanga. Sosaku Hanga was a Japanese art movement, roughly from the first half of the 19th century. And the first print that I want to show you is by Unichi Hiratsuka. Unichi Hiratsuka was something like a little bit the mentor of this art movement, and he was also the teacher for his artist colleagues. Teacher not so much in an artistic sense, but more in a technical sense. So why? It sounds strange. Well, the Sosaku Hanga artists, they had a mantra. In contrast to traditional Japanese woodblock printing, where the artist just made the design, and then there were specialized artisans who did the carving of the wooden blocks and who did the printing. But these Sosaku Hanga guys, they wanted to do everything themselves, and they soon found out, especially carving wood blocks, and you need one block for each color. That is not so easy. And Unichi Hiratsuka, he was still the best of them, and he taught the other guys a little bit how to do it. Well, a few words about Unichi Hiratsuka, apart from the fact that he was a good teacher for the others. He was born in 1895 and died in 1997. That means he became 102 years old. Woodblock printmaking seems to be a healthy occupation regarding the age that some of these artists could reach. Well, this one is a famous design by him, and it's multicolor, and it shows the Rakan temple at Yabake. Okay? The next print I want to show, it's a spooky one. Look at that. It's by Katsuki Saito. Also, Katsuki Saito became rather old. He was born in 1907 and died in 1997, so he became 90 years old. Well, let's take a look at this spooky print. Very rare, by the way. The title is Bar. Well, it shows a mysterious woman, and here's some shadows in the background. I hope this is a little bit recognizable in this video. Well, these shadows there are actually bottles, but because they are not so well visible, could as well be people, or let's say the ghosts of the drinkers haunted in this bar, or whatever. Katsuki Saito, by the way, he was one of the first Sosaku Hanga artists who, after World War II, gained great recognition outside Japan, in the Western world, in the US and in Europe. And he had one trick. No, he had two tricks. First of all, he used for his prints rather large areas. Like this, he could finish a print relatively fast. And the other, he integrated the grain of the wooden block into his design. You see it also here in the face of this mysterious woman a little bit. The next one is by Oki Hashimoto, and it shows Mount Fuji, the internal Mount Fuji. Also, Oki Hashimoto is one of these Sosaku Hanga artists who became so very old. Was born in 1899 and died in 1993, so he became 94 years old. Oki Hashimoto was trained by Unichi Hiratsuka. I told you before that he was the guy who taught the others how to make a good woodblock print. And Oki Hashimoto was technically a little bit better than the others. And he also concentrated on more popular subjects. Many of the Sosaku Hanga artists they had a preference to make, let's say, unfavorite designs like showing factories, but people want to buy beautiful prints. And Oki Hashimoto, well, his subjects, he concentrated on gardens, on temples, on castles. And Mount Fuji, that's the most popular subject you can make, and a good design of Mount Fuji always sells. The next object shows a woodblock print by Sampan Maikawa, born 1888 and died in 1960. Sampan Maikawa was originally a cartoonist, but later then he joined the artists of the Sosaku-hanga art movement, and he began to make woodblock prints. And well, this one is from a series called Girls from the Field. And Sampan Maikawa, well, he had concentrated on depicting countryside people and their festivities, and usually in cheerful colors. The next print that I want to present to you is by Bakufu Ono, born 1888, died in 1976. Bakufu Ono is, among collectors, mainly famous for a fish series, a large fish series. I think it has 74 designs, and it was published in the years 1937 and 1942. This doesn't look like a fish. It's a little bit too large for a fish, and it's a very rare design, and it was commissioned by Hitachi Shipbuilding Company somewhere in the 1950s. Hitachi, by the way, still exists, a large company group, but they no longer build ships. It's interesting. So in the 1950s and 1960s, the Koreans began to build ships, large ships, freight ships mainly, cheaper than the Japanese, and then Hitachi gave it up. And finally we've arrived at the last art print. Well, this wonderful design by Hideaki Kato, born 1954 in Kyoto. And by the way, Hideaki Kato, he's one of these artists who consign directly to us. And I'm always pleased to see bids on these prints consigned directly by the artist. And of course, the artist is also pleased. I do not know them all personally from face to face, most by email. Nevertheless, over the years, you build up a personal relationship. This is something I had to mention it. Hideaki Kato, by the way, learned the trade from his father, Hideaki Kato, who worked with the same technique. It's silk screen, and the basis is usually a photograph, which afterwards is treated in some different complicated process, which now I don't want to explain, and most probably I would not even be capable of explaining. Yeah, let's just take it as a wonderful art print, limited edition, of course. And the title of this one is Dragon and Cloud in English, in Japanese, Ryu Tu Kumo. Sorry, my friends. Well, Dragon and Cloud, and look at it. Well, the stone formation looks really a little bit like a dragon, with a lot of fantasy, and probably the other stones or the clouds, well, heaven knows. But a wonderful design consigned directly to us by Hideaki Kato. Today I showed you 6 or 7 wonderful art prints, and they are offered in the current auction. The current auction has the number 1697. We counted since 2001, and it will end September 12th, that is tomorrow, 2021. And I want to mention 2 more things. Well, first of all, the prints that we offer in our auctions, we do not sell them. We have no own inventory, but they are real consignments consigned to us by collectors or dealers or contemporary artists, like in the case of Hideaki Kato. I already mentioned that before. And I want to get a message across to you, contemporary artists. I'm very open to expand the offerings by contemporary artists, to show more by artists directly. And you need not be a Japanese artist, but you must fit with your style somehow into our auctions. Take a look at our catalogs. It need not be a woodblock print, it can be a silk screen, it can be an etching. Recently we added two American artists. One was Cameron Bailey with woodblock prints, and the other Stephen McMillan with aquatint etchings. But you must have a very high technical skill level, but don't hesitate if you think your prints would sell in our auctions and fit into our auctions. Don't hesitate to contact me. It doesn't cost anything. Well, enough for today. Well, thanks for your patience, my friends, and have a good week. Goodbye.